Hey, how's it going, guys? Domino Paris 21 here, and back again with yet another deck profile for you all. So, of course, what I have to present to you guys is my Bluish Flame Liberator Prominence Glare deck for you all. Now, it's kind of funny because Gold Prominence has never really been in my radar in terms of clans I've been interested in the past. But in preparation of Bluish Flames, I did build my Monarch Alpha deck because I actually like Monarch. But yeah, Gold Prominence has never really been an interest of mine. In fact, I used to actually hate Gold Prominence because my buddy David from my Vanguard actually used to sack me so much with them when he used to play Gold Paladins. But yeah, Bluish Flames just attracted me so much. Really like the artwork on it. I actually like Vanguard in the show as a character. And I really like how Bluish Flames got a lot more enhancement out of the Gold Paladin like trait of, you know, superior calling for the top deck, seeing that now it's not a random card from the top of the deck, but instead now you get to kind of tutor from you know, looking at a handful of cards from the top. So I like that a lot better. It makes tutoring a lot better for the deck, not as random, and most importantly, you know, the combos in this deck is pretty fun to pull off, and the deck's overall very fun to play, and Glares is just very extremely powerful as well. I was actually able to find success at a few of my locals when I was testing this deck out, and actually one of my locals had a cash tournament consisting of about 20 players, and I was actually able to win first place there too with this deck. So yeah, you know, this deck's very powerful and very fun to play. So what more can you ask for, right? So yeah, without further ado, let's actually get started. So with the starter, I am playing the Flaming Passion Liberator Guido. He's a really amazing card for this deck, and although Kurungal Liberator is another option that people like, I just found Guido to be a lot better. Just being able to help to enable your Glare skill by just getting a free Superior Call from the top of your deck, free of Counterblast, which is very, really huge for this deck. I think this is way too good. But Guido's skill reads as you put him into the Soul, and when your Vanguard is in Legion, and you check the top 3 cards of your deck, Superior Call 1 Liberator Gold Paladin from among them, and the rest you shuffle into the deck. The key part of that is shuffling the deck, because this deck, for as much as it can Superior Call from the deck, being able to shuffle the whole deck, especially after maybe possibly stacking triggers in the bottom from using your other skills, and just thinning out the deck, makes your drive checks even more lethal. So for that reason, that's another reason why I'm actually playing a second Guido, because it's just an amazing target to call when you're enabling your other skills. And again, shuffles the deck, and if you draw into him, okay, that's a 10k shield. So, and it's also another 10k shield, most importantly. So if you face like Yggdrasil or another Glare, you have another card you can defend yourself with. So yeah, definitely love the 2 Guidos in the deck. Definitely recommended. The next for my grade 3s, we have of course, your 4 Prominence Glare. So first thing that really caught me off guard is like I couldn't find its head for a little while. I thought like the top here, like that looks like a beetle, is his head, but it turns out his head's right here. So definitely caught me off guard for a second there. But yeah, he has a very powerful skill, of course, sharing the same skill of Yggdrasil or of course Glory Maelstrom, gaining a crit and the ability to prevent your opponent from guarding with grade 1 or higher units, or calling grade 1 or higher units to the Guardian Circle, because they can still intercept. But the way its skill works is, first, for the Legion skill, is whenever you Superior Call a Gold Paladin unit from your deck, you Counterblast 1 and discard a Bluish Flame Liberator from your hand, which will mainly be your grade 3s. And he does gain that red text skill of gains 1 crit, and your opponent cannot call grade 1 or higher units to the Guardian Circle. So, very powerful skill. And combining him with your grade 1 Bruno, which allows you to gain plus 3k power every time you Superior Call from the deck, he can hit some pretty nice numbers here. Maybe not as big as Yggdrasil can, but still pretty threatening nonetheless. And also he has a really good secondary skill, which is Counterblast 1, retire a Gold Paladin from your rearguard circle, check the top 4 cards of your deck, Superior Call, and then stack the rest in the bottom of the deck. So what I like, of course, out of him is that he's a self-enabler for himself. which is really what makes a really good boss card, is being able to self-enable their own skills, so that's pretty good. But the counterblasting is pretty, the counterblasting can be a little hefty, so you don't want to rely on a secondary skill too much, which is why I do play the second Guido for that. But yeah, like I said, very powerful card and works wonders in combination with Bruno. And then for my secondary grade 3, I am playing the 4 Percivals. Now, just to let you guys know, between Percival and Core, because I know it's been debated about a lot between a lot of Gold Paladin players, I don't like Core, just because I think Core fits a different playstyle than Glare. And, you know, I just like Percival because if I'm stuck riding Percival first, at least Percival will allow me to stick to my main strategy of this deck of pushing with Glare to finish, but most importantly, swarming the board. Being able to swarm the board basically for free, which is pretty much the whole premise of Gold Paladins. Percival still fits that playstyle that I'm going for the deck, and it's free of Counterblast, so it doesn't cost me Counterblast. I don't have to try and fish for specific cards and, you know, go for situational plays. Just solid, consistent, which is what I like. And, you know, I don't think, and honestly, you know, I don't want to ride Percival first. I want to ride Glare first anyway to help conserve my Bluish flames anyway. So, but yeah, that's really the main reason to play Percival. The next, I am playing for my grade 2s. Of course, your 4 Oath Liberator Aglavale. Love this card. Probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. What he allows you to do, of course, just like I explained with Percival, allows you to swarm the board for practically free. And if you're able to hit the right targets, you can probably still continue a combination and maybe even get some more additional cards, leading to, well, he's already a +1, so even leading to a +2 or even a +3. So opening him with another grade 2, I definitely credit him for winning a lot of my games, just because, you know, going turn 2, ride a grade 2 Liberator and just call him and then just get a board for almost free, and then just pushing my opponent for like 2 turns, you know, with 3 attacks. That can be definitely pretty devastating, you know, against any deck when you're able to open like that. So he definitely helps enable those plays. Then of course you have your mate of Glare. For regulation, Liberator Aglavale. When you superior call from the deck, Soul Blast 1, check top 5 for a Bluish Flame, add to hand, and he is an 11k attacker, gains +2 when you have a Bluish Flame Vanguard. So just another way to help fish for your grade 3s, and there's even some plays where I call dunking, you know, where there's one time where I actually counterblasted for Glare skill, and I was able to hit him, and I was able to actually hit a grade 3 from his skill, and since him and Glare's skill would activate at the same time, you choose to, of course, choose to use his skill first to search for the 3, and if you get the 3, then you can use Glare's skill. So it could be definitely a pretty nice combination. It's kind of like a last minute resort thing if you're trying to like search a grade 3 to try and push for game. And again, he shuffles the deck, so just being able to shuffle the deck after you're like possibly stacking triggers in the bottom is so huge for this deck. And next, I am running 2 Liberator Lawful Trumpeter. You know, there's a lot of debate as to, you know, whether he's useful or not in the deck, but I say, guys, although it is pretty situational on whether he's very useful for you, nonetheless, he still helped me in a few games, and, you know, he still brings more options for you. So what he does is, while he's on the rear guard circle, when you perform Legion, check the top 3 cards of your deck, superior call, stack the rest in the bottom. Because what I like is that it enables that superior calling skill without counterblast, which is, like I said, counterblasting can be really hefty sometimes if you're trying to use Glare skill multiple times. And like I said, sometimes you don't need him because you already opened the Aglavale, but you don't want to rely on just the Aglavale itself. You want to leave your options open all the time to really go for that swarm. And last, I have kind of like my tech card of the deck, 1 Maron. I used to be a 3rd Trumpeter, but I actually decided to take one out and put a Maron in here. But what it does is, coming from set 15 actually, when it's superior call from the deck, check top 5 for a grade 3, add it to hand. So it's just kind of like having a 5th regulation, and it's free to play. So it actually helped me out in a few clutch situations for the same combination that I explained with him. So definitely a nice tech in the deck. And then next, for grade 1s, you have your 4 Perfect Guards. No quintets, because like I said, counterblasting is way too hefty for this deck. Basically like your MVP of the deck, Bruno's. Like I said, +3, he gains +3000 whenever you superior call a Gold Paladin from your deck. So basically, if you're able to pull off a string of combinations, which you're really capable in this deck, you know, you can really pump up to big numbers. The biggest I can really get Glare once was 51k in the center, so that's kind of like my record. So I challenge you guys to beat that. The next, 3 Josephus. I don't like to run 4 Josephus just because, although it's nice obviously to get the free +1, the free draw of Josephus, there are usually other cards that I prioritize calling to enable their skills. That's a little bit more important for the deck as opposed to Josephus, but Josephus is kind of like the last resort. Like if I already did everything I possibly could and don't need to prioritize any other skills, I can just do it to get the free draw. But I think 3 is a perfect number for the reason that I mentioned. Then next you have 2 Zorons. I honestly don't like Zoran in the deck just because I don't like the fact that, again, I don't like stacking cards in the bottom of my deck that can possibly be triggers or any other important cards, but nonetheless, he still allows you to continue your combos for the deck. And what's nice is, again, this deck has multiple ways to reshuffle your deck. So originally it was the 3rd Zoran, but I actually cut it to play that 2nd Guido, which is testing out amazing in the deck. Then last but not least, for my zeros, you have the 4 Flame of Victories. Although it's not a Liberator, it doesn't really matter because you usually don't want to call triggers out to your field anyway. But what I like is, if you don't happen to get your Bruno for Glare, if you could put like a 7k booster behind Glare, there are times I was able to do that and just throw 2 of these in, give Glare plus 3,000 for each of them, so plus 6. So he was still able to hit 33. 33 crit 2 glory skill, which is pretty nice. And also too, it can help you get to that next tier. So like maybe if you're only able to get 2 superior calls off Bruno, you want to hit 36, well, you've got one of these, shove them right in. So go for game. So I really love these cards a lot. These definitely came in clutch for me in a few games. Other Liberator crits. And then of course you have another MVP of my, really the MVP of my trigger lineup is my Catch Calls. Catch Call is what really helps create those combos for you. When you Superior Call from the deck, put them in the bottom, check top 3, and then Superior Call 1, shuffle the rest of the deck. So again, shuffling the deck, it's amazing. But you can't call another one of him. But you can call a Flame of Victory because it's not Liberator specific. And last but not least, 4 heals. So simple as that, guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget. So there you have it, guys. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, leave a thumbs up on this video. That's always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you hadn't. And as always, guys, any questions and such, feel free to send me a personal message or feel free to share your own personal ideas in the comment section below, because what's nice with the Bluish Flame deck is, there are a few different ways to build the deck, and there isn't necessarily a wrong way to play unless you're playing like, unorthodox cards in the deck and such. But yeah, on that, guys, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.